Howdy, howdy, and hey, y'all. All right, today I was hoping we can sit down and have kind of a serious chat about unlimited or lifetime services and why I will never, ever offer those. So, to preface, this is coming out now because of two recent issues that popped up between two separate buyers and sellers within the direct selling community, and these both happened in the last week alone. And each time, the seller either offered unlimited or lifetime services and had that offer taken advantage of. So today, I want to talk about why I will never offer either of those and some tips that might help if you decide you still want to. So let's start with something that just seems to make sense. It seems so incredibly simple, but in that simplicity, you are lining yourself up into a trap. And that trap is lifetime access. So y'all know that I run my own subscription-based Telegram channel, right? But what y'all might not know is how I structure my subscriptions and what I charge. So just to give some background, I charge $15 a month, billed in a 3, 6, or 12-month cycle. Y'all, I'm gonna get so real. It would be so much incredibly easier for me to just offer a lifetime entry fee and rack that fee through the roof. I wouldn't have to remember renewals, and I can kind of leave it as an afterthought. But here is why I am more than willing and more than happy to deal with the extra hassle of renewals every few months. So to start, I post on that channel 3 times daily. It is a new channel since my last one was taken down. It only has 174 pieces of media. Okay, if you want to check out the process I went through when my first channel got taken down, check out this video here. It's titled Telegram Takedowns, and I'll also link that below. Back to this one, though, there is currently 174 pieces of media on it now. I had my other channel for 3 years. That channel amassed over 3 to 4,000 pieces of media. So what I would charge for access to 174 pieces of media is fucking wildly different than what I would charge for 3 to 4,000. So if I'm selling lifetime access, problem one comes in at some point, no matter what. There are going to be plenty and plenty of people who have vastly underpaid you, even if you raise your rate as the quantity of your content goes up. But you already took that one-time payment, so you can't raise their rate. And I have no interest in ever allowing anyone to underpay for the access to me. Now that's just hiccup number one, okay? Big ass burp comes in where it stops being about getting your bag and starts becoming more about protecting your whole ass reputation and standing as a decent, reliable, and trustworthy seller. So I kind of want to tell you a little bit about what happened in the behind the scenes in one of the scenarios we saw this week. This creator was selling lifetime access to their channel in hopes that the purchasers of that lifetime access channel would also begin and be incentivized to start purchasing sessions and custom content as well. Well, the buyers did not do that. They already had lifetime access to all this person's content. So why would they want or need to get more? So this person got very understandably hurt and very frustrated and likely burnt the fuck out. Hi, who hasn't been there? So they deleted access to where all their content was stored. They booted everyone out and did not start up a new one and just revoked access to everyone who had purchased a lifetime access. Okay. Well, now the really shitty part comes in, because that person who deleted and revoked access to their content is now a scammer to each and every single person who purchased lifetime access. Lifetime access does not mean until you decide you don't want to provide access anymore. It means lifetime. Or at minimum, until you decide to stop content creation and are okay with leaving being labeled a scammer or having a damaged reputation, making it very, very, very hard to ever consider coming back. Lifetime access cannot be revoked, okay? I will never allow or sell anything that does not have strict time constraints on it, because I need to make sure I have an out that keeps my reputation clean. That creator, as much as I feel for them in every fucking part of my heart, can now be easily labeled as a scammer to every person she revoked the access to. And as much as the community leaders want to side with this person, we cannot. And that hurts my heart. But it is because they are now going back on a surface that they offered and were paid for, and they did not offer refunds. Lifetime access to content is dangerous because it sets you up in a trap that you do not get to decide to just walk out of. I personally will always put time constraints on access to my content. This is a layer of protection for me, and it ensures that not only will I be able to walk the fuck away from that when I'm ready, but I will also be continuing to earn more revenue long-term from the subscription-based model. Okay, let's look at situation number 2. And this one, I always get a really big pit in my stomach when I see reports around this come through mod mail. And that's unlimited content offers. Y'all, please hear me. It is so important to remember that we are not always working with good people. We are sometimes working with the worst fucking scum of the earth. And it is also so important to remember that some of the people we have show up in our DMs and offer to pay us are looking for the loophole. They are looking for the ways to take advantage of us. And this unlimited offer is such an easy way to become trapped under some asshole's thumb. We often see unlimited content offers structured almost like a really high intensity GFE, where someone will offer to create or send an unlimited amount of custom or pre-made content or perform an unlimited amount of services in a set amount of time. Again, that month, 2 month, 3 month, whatever. Now, it's great that we normally see those time constraints on these offers, that month or what have you, but that is not enough of a layer of protection. And that brings me into the second story and the second reason we're having this conversation today. And this, like I said, this kind of really fucked my heart up. So bear with me. We saw a creator being reported for violating her financial contractual agreement with a buyer. And this creator, I need to be honest, seemed so obviously desperate. Very obviously. And it seemed they were in a scary, tight financial situation. And so they just offered an unlimited amount of content for a fucking ridiculous amount of months. They and the buyer had a very brief conversation first. Payment was then sent. And then the buyer said, "Hey, bitch, now I get to fucking play." And unfortunately, the pair of them had not set down hard limitations of what content can be sent, how much of each style, how much hours in the day they were available to create content, or any other protective boundaries. The creator did not set any of those up until the buyer started getting pushy and demanding and nasty. And here's the problem. Once the money has already been sent, the contract has already been signed, the terms have already been set, and any terms that you did not set before accepting payment, you cannot go back and pencil those in on the signed contract. That's not how purchasing anything works. So in this situation, the buyer continued to ask for more and more out-of-pocket requests, becoming more demanding, just overall nasty as fuck. And I mean hardcore fuck this guy. But the creator, again, did not set a single boundary beforehand to stop this, so we could not help this creator to the level that they deserved the help, because unfortunately the creator set themselves up a trap and then they pulled the string to trap themselves in it. At that point, the only single recourse we can do is direct this creator to refund the money and block the piece of shit. But if they did not refund the money, they were going back against a agreement and a contract that they made with that buyer through that financial transaction, which that would make them a scammer. That would damage their reputation and damage their standing. And it's fucking heartbreaking. And it is horrible. And this is one I sat and I cried over. And that doesn't happen to me very often anymore, but this one hurt. Because this just seemed like someone who was so scared and so desperate for any crumb of money. And I've been that person. And it seemed like someone who didn't understand the risks they were putting themselves in. So let's just talk about it. If you are going to decide to offer unlimited content, you must make sure it is not unlimited. I know, doesn't sound right. Don't give a shit. What hours are you available? How much content are you willing to make, and what formats and what lengths of that content are you willing to make? How much of your pre-made library are you willing to part with? How long are you offering the unlimited content deal? What are your boundaries and limitations of content that you will create? All of those restrictions have to be put into place. And now I know what you're thinking. Okay, so now it's not unlimited. No, it's not. Because the second you remove limits from yourself and your business, I promise it is not going to be the amazing buyers coming. The worst of the fucking worst will come and take full advantage of this. Okay, sorry, I got a tad bit emotional. It was really so hard to have to tell this person, sorry, we can't help as much as we want. So offering lifetime access to content, I know, seems so much easier than the hassle of managing subscriptions. I get that. And that stands true until the day you decide you don't want to give that access anymore. And you now have the choice of, do I now have to refund every single person here? Or run the risk of being reported as a scammer and losing my business? Offering unlimited content deals seem like a fantastic way to make money when things are tight or strapped. I hear you. Honey, I hear you. But it is also a fantastic way for a piece of fucking shit to take every bit of advantage of you and lock you in a cage of over-expectation and over-demand and over-consumption. So personally, I will never offer either of these types of services. I have seen them go wrong every time. To me, the risks far, far, far outweigh any potential reward that could show up. If you are going to offer either of these types of services, you must establish firm, hard limits and boundaries, and you must be okay with the heavy risks that you are taking on and that come with these. Or just take the safe road and don't offer either of these. These were only two situations that ended up on our desks that hurt my heart. And so I just wanted to sit down today and kind of share them with you guys and at least just give my perspective of it, just in the hope that if you are considering offering either of these, or you are going down these paths, that you can at least be better educated and better prepared, so you are not the next person in our mod mail who is begging for help and we can't provide it. Alrighty, y'all. I know this was really heavy and I know I got a little emotional, so I apologize for that. But I hope that this can keep at least one person out there just a touch safer, just a tiny bit safer, and at least help you understand what you're getting into. Okay, I really hope everyone here is genuinely safe. Genuinely safe. I hope you are staying sane as fucking we can be. And honey, I hope you are flourishing.